Welcome to Tuesday's edition of VOP This Morning. I'm Fina Okechukwu, and on the show this morning we have lots of interesting lineup for you to enjoy and also be kept abreast of what is happening in Nigeria. On our radar this morning, IPOB warns federal government of harsh consequences over Nnamdi Kanu's deteriorating health. And not just that, also, Nigerian leaders, known terrorist bandits, protect them for political gains. And this is coming from Sowore as he vows massive protest come October 1st. We have so many other interesting trending on the show this morning, but I'm not alone. As usual, I cannot come to the studio alone. Chukuma, good morning.
Good morning, Fina.
How do you do this Tuesday morning?
Good.
Wonderful one and interesting topics.
Really, yes, it is.
That politicians know where bandits are. They are actually protecting them. And that is coming from Sowore. And not just Sowore. I could remember that one time a head of state in Nigeria made a statement that if banditry or insecurity persists for more than 24 hours, that we should ask the government about what is happening. You can be part of today's show by getting to our social media platforms. On social media, YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on all the social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. YouTube, Voice of the People TV. The X.com, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, we are at VOP TV Live. Just click on the subscription button if you've not done that already, and also click on the notification button so that you know how the show is. We need your contribution, we need your comments, we also need you to be part of the moving train. And I told us that we have lots of lineups today. And one of the trending topics we also want to look at, though it's not really one of our major topics, is a former federal lawmaker from Kaduna State, Senator Shehu Sani. He stated that heavy fines should be imposed on Nigerians who collect permanent voters card, PVC, but refuses to vote. And he didn't say anything about those people who have been marrying the hope of Nigerians after queuing to get registered for you to get your voters card. And then he also queued to be able to cast your vote, that is exercising your franchise as a citizen. And some people will sit at the comfort of their offices and still they will not give Nigerians what is it that Nigerians ask for. And one want to ask, what will be their penalty? What are the things that Sani Shehu is also having, in line for those people? Because I could remember that some people who said they are not voting did that because of the outcome of the elections that we've been having in Nigeria. Chukuma, do you share that line of thought too, that people who collect voters card and no votes should be penalized?
Well, Fina, unfortunately, that is Shehu Sani's thought. But I think he was simply trying to emphasize the enormity of the voter apathy we witness in Nigeria. Voting is a civic responsibility and an obligation. Unfortunately, it is one of those obligations that doesn't attract penalty if you violate it. I mean, if you fail to recite the national anthem, you could be penalized. But if you refuse to vote,
5 years,
if you refuse to vote, I'm not sure that our laws say that there's a penalty attached to it. Like I said earlier, Shehu Sani was simply trying to emphasize the enormity of voter apathy that we witness in Nigeria. And when I heard Shehu Sani, I said, let me take an excursion to other climes. And I went to the United States of America, apparently the most advanced democracy in the whole world. And I did a comparison of their 2020 election and our own 2023 election, And I found out that, yes, there is voter apathy everywhere because I think the population is about 254 million. They have a certain number of registered voters. And out of those registered voters, they recorded 66.11 voters, meaning that 23 didn't vote. And that translated to about 90 million people that didn't vote in the United States. Back here, we had 90 million registered voters, and our voter turnout was just 26.7%.
Yeah.
So, and we had a large pool of people who didn't vote. I also discovered that the thing, it's inversely related, because in our own climb, we had our youthful population troop out to vote. But in the United States, in their 2020 election, they discovered that 76%
of the youth
did not vote.
Exactly.
While the more elders, aged ones between 45 and 70 voted. So I think what Shehu is just trying to emphasize is that, look, the Nigerian Orientation Agency, I'm adding this one now, should go out there and sensitize people about the need to participate in elections. Because if you don't, if you don't participate in elections, I think you have also lost the moral right and moral courage to criticize people in government.
Yeah, but you know that 2023
because
election,
one philosopher said the of apathy is in one being ruled by his inferior, something like that. I can't remember.
But you know that in 2023 election, I participated actively in that election, from mobilizing people, trying to sensitize the youth about their right to vote and what it entails and all that. But we also saw some Nigerians in Nigeria disenfranchising people from doing that particular civic obligation. Some people of the opinion, no, you don't have the right to vote here. So how did you expect someone to have a voter's card that gets to the polling unit to cast a vote and was restricted from casting his vote by an individual in Nigeria?
Yes,
do you still think that?
We saw that. We saw that.
So I believe that Shehu should have gone this way. Not just those that have permanent voters card and refuse to vote. Those that make people not to vote. For example, in Nigeria, I saw the video of a particular man who threatened people and tell them people that they will vote for. I think we're doing secret ballots, you understand? So we have to find a way also to bring those people to book. And also, we have those that are not supposed to be part in politics and also play the part of making people's votes not to count.
Like I said, what Shehu Sani has said is a call, to do to both
the call,
to the Nigerian government.
The call should be a general
and,
call.
To law enforcement. If you're talking about the 2023 election, where a certain MC Oluomo came out and said, look, it was on live video everywhere. It was on live feed.
Yeah.
If you are not going to vote for APC, please don't vote in this polling unit. And we saw people with bloodied nose, blind eyes and all of that, And unfortunately, courageously, one young lady with blood gushing through her body still went back to the polling unit to vote. She was trying to express, her belief in the system that, look, this is what we should do to get Nigeria right. So like I said, it's a call to law enforcement. If you have, Shehu Sani should also lend his voice to the fact that, look, if you have people who prevent others from voting, the cause of justice.
If we have also an organization that we put all our hope and trust in and believe that they're going to give us a free, fair elections and, our vote also to count, and they decide not to do that, I hope also they'll be penalized. Because they gave us lots of, I'm talking about INEC now, they told us that this 2023 election is going to be one of a kind. We have the BVAS, we have the IREVs. We actually were promised that we're going to get our result immediately. It will be, using electrical means, electronic transmission of the votes. That's what we're told. But we also found out that did not really work out. But in Kenya, for example, the people who are old were able to cast their votes because the people who knows them and those who happen to be in their units also allow them. The aged in Kenya casted their vote. The sick ones in the hospital were able to vote. Those in prison also did vote. But in Nigeria, I believe that Sani also knows how it's being done here. But we now move over to another trending topic where a particular Nigerian, Portable, laments after meeting Peter Obi, saying that if it would happen to be Tinubu, he would have given them money. And we know that Peter Obi is a man that says, shishi, we know they give. That was for him not to be able to influence people's opinion or idea for the election. He believes in campaigning without, money exchanging hands. But Portable still expects the spending now to move to, from one person to another. And he knows that the economy is not that smiling. The economy of Nigeria is not funny at all. Yes. Untold hardship is what Nigerians are talking about. The rich also are not smiling. They are crying too, because of the recent happening with our economy. And I don't know where Portable expects some people who also know how to, put money in a good use now and to start throwing it one down. Chukuma, do you also think that Peter Obi should reduce his level of not being able to give out money and start sharing like other people?
Fina, Peter Obi, I'm not a strategist. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it, and probably it's been working for him. Like you rightly said, Obi said, we know they give shishi. That is his mantra, and that is what he's living. He doesn't give shishi in the sense that, look, he doesn't have to incentivize you to vote for him. He doesn't have to induce you to vote for him. But he's able to dole out money to build water boreholes in places where people don't have water, in places where the Nigerian government has abdicated their responsibility. And he's now stepping into the gap to ensure that he provides water, school fees, school buildings, school desks, computers, and all of that for Nigerians. What ordinarily the government should be doing, and we have a Peter Obi doing those things. So, Portable happens to be one of our rich, celebrities. So, I don't know how much I was expecting Peter Obi to give him, but like he said, if it was the Jagaban of Nigerian politics, our current president, words of currency. So unfortunately, Portable, you don't see say Obino they give shishi now. My brother, if you get, make you give Obio because he too needs money to contest the elections.
But I believe that this speaks more about how Nigerians, expect things from people, how they expect money to exchange hands.
I think it's the monetization of our politics.
That's another word. That's another word actually to go. But Nigerians, when they meet you somewhere or somehow, they will expect you to give them money. They will expect you to show love. In local parlance, they call it show us love.
It's an entitlement mentality.
That is it. That is it. And now that Peter Obi couldn't give Portable money when they met in Edo State during the, the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate.
Meanwhile, he had gone there for a show. And probably they paid him.
He has been paid, yes. So. He has been paid for going to Edo State, for that rally. And he expects Obi to give him money. But it's a quite interesting one. Peter Obi says, shishi, we know they give. And that is his mantra, and that is where he also stands. And that's how far we can go on other trending topics or issues that made it to our radar this morning on VOP This Morning Show. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll have to look at the national dailies. Let's know what the national dailies are talking about this early morning. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.